But one of the reasons why it was like a little bit of a, was like I heard on the radio, okay, the petrol price is going up. And I was quite surprised by how much it was going up. It was going up by 81 cents. And like, you get a sense of more or less where things are, like what the oil price is, what the exchange rate is. And then like sometimes you hear when the petrol price is moving, you think, yes, that just doesn't feel right. Right? I mean, what's a petrol price in the UK? Or maybe I shouldn't ask because then I've got nothing to complain about.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
Petrol price is probably around £1.20, £1.19.
So that's like $24 a litre.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, I'm not going to complain. Okay, on to the next segment. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, we have one of the most expensive fuel prices in Europe. I mean, the truck drivers, when they come from mainland Europe into the UK, tend to fill up their trucks in France.
Okay.
And then that will last them till they get back to France. It's a problem because the government's not getting the taxes for all those freighters
on the roads.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is your petrol price in the UK also like made up of taxes and that kind of stuff to cover like those sort of costs? Because I mean, in South Africa, we've got the road accident fund. I mean, I was joking with producer Bex during the week and saying, like if they gave us the petrol for free, we'd still have to pay R5 or R6 a litre. Because I think that's where the tax is.
So the actual cost of the fuel is like 32 pence against that 119, 120. I mean, so you can see, I mean, there's also the cost of distributing it now, which comes to, I don't know, another 10 pence. So it's not the cost of the fuel with profits for the retailer, and it doesn't even come to half. I mean, we still have 20% tax on this after they've already put their duties on it.
Really?
The main component is the duties, which is the equivalent of your road tax fund.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I mean, we've got this thing called the general fuel levy. I think it starts with the road accident fund.
What burns my ass is they do just put it up all the time. No reason, right?
Yeah.
And when the cost of oil drops, they don't go and drop your fuel price.
No.
Yeah, well, you see, now that's the point. That's the thing that was like eating me during the week. So I said to producer Bex, I said, hey, listen, let's go check what the exchange rate was. Let's see what the Brent crude oil price was and everything. And I was looking.
Yeah.
The petrol price in April last year, okay, so 2020, April, was 13 Rand 76, okay, compared to what it is now, which is 15 Rand and 67 cents, right? In April 2020,
Can I just put in a small disclaimer? You just need to keep in mind that the oil price in March went down to zero.
Hang on, how can it go down to zero?
Well, look, in April it was $25. It was $25 in April. So that's why I looked at 3 months. I didn't just take 1 month. So I looked at April, May, June, and the Brent crude oil price for those 3 months was $25, $35, and $41. Right?
Yeah.
Exchange rate was 18 Rand 58, 18 Rand 19, and 17 Rand 10. Okay. And the petrol price was 13 Rand, 12 Rand, and 13 Rand 20. Now, we're sitting in January, February, where the fuel prices are up to 15 Rand 67 now. But the exchange rate is, Brent crude's like sitting at 51, 55, and the exchange rate is sitting at 15. So how do they get to 15 Rand a litre now?
Well, it's a balancing act, right? So you're trading off between the fuel price that's basically in dollars, right, and your currency strength versus the dollar. So when your currency is fairly strong against the dollar, you should be able to actually buy cheaper fuel, right? But if your currency is weak, then the cost of fuel is more expensive. So like what was really interesting about the...
But just stop there. When you say the cost of fuel is the cost of fuel, what the dollar per barrel, or the fact that the exchange rate is weaker, that it now costs more in rands because of per barrel?
Remember that the cost per barrel does not, it's per barrel of crude. It's not like per barrel of 98.
No,
octane,
so they
right?
get the crude here and they refine it. Yeah, sure,
And
fine, I've got that.
And then they add the refining cost. But like, look, if you take everything in consideration, looks like it, right? If at least in our case, like for South Africa, it looks like the tax and the various levies basically make up about 80% of the cost we pay at the pump.
80.
Yeah, so that refining cost just is part of the actual product cost. It doesn't massively
but
change
I mean, it's
things.
but surely the refining cost generally stays the same.
No, not really. So refining is an energy intensive process, so it depends on the price of the energy that you're putting in. But
so what, electric prices?
Yeah.
Okay, but the electric prices only change once a year.
That's true. And like, I don't know exactly what tariffs that these guys use, because remember, there's like an industrial tariff and residential tariff.
Yeah,
which is
the industrial one.
They buy in bulk, so it's going to be negotiated good pricing, I would
imagine.
Yeah.
It's contract, and you probably find we're talking about it changing every year. That's residential. You probably find at the industrial level they've signed a 3-year agreement.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
So
but I mean,
I think the industrial rate would be capped. But anyway, so it's like we're talking about cost per barrel, right? And we're talking about rand-dollar exchange, and we're talking about refining the fuel, whether it gets refined in the country or outside of the country. Then it's like transportation. But all of that is gonna, like in our case, is gonna make up to about 3-4 rand per liter of fuel at the pump, right? And everything that we pay extra is taxes and levies.
Well, yeah, I can't remember what the actual amount is that we're paying levies at the moment. I think it's like 6 rand or 6 rand 50 or something.
So almost half.
Per liter. Yeah. No, but that levy stays the same. That levy generally only changes once a year. After the budget speech, they announce whether they're going to tweak that tax on the petrol.
Yeah.
So there are some costs that are staying the same. Let's say the levy price, the refining price, more or less is staying the same. The only big variable in there is the rand dollar and the Brent crude oil price.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're looking at historical numbers, where in May last year you're sitting at 18 rand to the dollar, $35 for a barrel, and now and the petrol price was $12. Now you're sitting at 15.67, where with the rand dollar, well, the Brent crude at 55, and the rand dollar at 15. Doesn't make sense to me.
And there's no change in the levy percentage.
Also factor in the fact that, like, you can't really reliably use the data from bulk of last year, because most of the countries in the world were not driving, and there was very limited fuel usage.
Okay, this is where I'm going to come in now, because I think when half the world went into lockdown in March last year, they'd overproduced, because they would have produced a massive amount for the world's demand, and that's what they're used to producing month in, month out. Okay, now there's less demand, so they're stuck with a stockpile of stuff. It's costing them a fortune to store the stuff. They had to wind down operations to minimize manufacture of the oil, and so they were stuck with it. So they had to drop their price in March last year to try and incentivize countries to go and buy this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, wind forward a bit, even though half the world's still in lockdown, people are still, industries are still needing to work and operate. If I look on our highways now compared to March last year was very empty. Now everybody's working again. There's a lot of traffic. The demand is almost back to where it was pre-COVID times. So they can now come back a year later. All the losses that industry made, all the losses that they made, they now have to recoup. So they're going to edge up that price.
Yeah.
So that's where the crude oil price comes. Everyone in that supply chain has to recoup the losses. And I think that's why they're going to keep edging it up. We'll see that throughout this year.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, that's the
Because-
thing is, I was just, but I mean, your gut feel is that it shouldn't be, but when you break it down, you understand, you potentially can explain it.
I mean, it doesn't mean we have to like it. I think we could still bitch about this for weeks, months.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to go
So
electric. Screw you guys.
So I was actually thinking about that, right? So what's going to happen, like with this entire market in terms of the taxes, levies, and that entire ecosystem when the majority of the world goes electric, right? So let's take our case, right? Once we go electric and everything has solar panels to actually charge the electric vehicles, right? Like that massive revenue stream is gone. It's just gone.
So what do you think happens to the price then? Does it come down or does it go up?
Basically, I have no idea. I don't think it will go up because there's just massive supply, and there's just no demand.
Yeah, that's cool. So I'll just keep on driving my gasoline vehicle, and you guys can all buy your electric cars and pay a shitload of money. And
All
I'll
buying
just have
Teslas,
it.
man. All buying Teslas.
No,
All buying.
no, you can't buy Tesla. They're not even sold in this country. But I'm
Not
just
yet,
talking
not
about that
yet.
before we
eBay.
move on. Sorry, eBay.
Yeah.
But you need the charging station, dude. Just talking about
yeah,
that,
they're
I see in Britain they've said, Boris said 2035. After that, they won't sell any more gasoline or diesel cars.
Well, I've in our household here we have 2 diesel cars, and already the price of diesel car, because they are stopping the sale of diesel cars in the UK in 2025 or 2030, somewhere around there. And already the book value of the cars have dropped in the
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, I'm liking this. So I can pick up a diesel car for next to nothing and pay next to nothing for diesel. I like this plan, dude. I like this plan.
How long will they keep supplying diesel in your local?
Oh, the
fuel
nice thing
station?
is, trust me, dude. Where there's a demand, they will service the need. And if it's not going to be the Shells and the BPs of the world, there will be some entrepreneur that will decide to start making biodiesel and supplying that market.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be, but at
Yeah.
what cost? Then
Yeah.
we'll complain about the cost of fuel because
No,
the
no,
cost
well,
of
then there
supply
won't
will
be
be
any
so
taxes.
high.
But there won't be any taxes, dude. Because
I'm
diesel's
sure the government will
unregulated.
get into this somehow.